إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم فأنيبوا إلى ربكم وأسلموا له من قبل أن يأتيكم العذاب ثم لا تنصرون صدق الله العلي العظيم. I give you the translation of Isaiah. Prophet said, O my servants who have transgressed against themselves by sinning, don't despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Indeed, it is He who is the forgiver and He is the merciful. And return to your Lord and submit to Him before the punishment comes upon you. Then you will not be helped by Him. Good afternoon all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Thank you, Shahabuddin. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. You won't get anything unless you have the vision to imagine it. And
Respected guests of the day, Mr. Arun Balachandran, CEO Innovation Lab and CEO Forward Life Magazine, Sanjay Menon, Chief Marketing Officer and Director Ambigo Technologies, and owner Kahawa Cafe, and Mr. Kenny Jacob. He will be joining us shortly. He is the CEO of Irose Web Holdings. My respected teachers and my dear friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very warm good afternoon to one and all. It is with a sense of immense pleasure and pride that I take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to NMeet 2012. NMeet 2012 has been conceived with the primary objective to awaken the student community, particularly in our campus, to the concept of entrepreneurship and to inspire them to take up the entrepreneurial path and to cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset. Now I take this opportunity to familiarize Aligarh Muslim University to our respected guests. Aligarh Muslim University was established in 1875 by the great social reformer Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. It is set in a 467-acre campus in Aligarh, UP. It is home to about 30,000 students, 2,000 teachers and 6,000 non-teaching staff. It is one of the largest residential campuses in the country. AMU is presently placed as the 5th best university in India. Now coming to the AMU centers. The AMU center at Malappuram, it is a 343-acre campus and it is the part of a historic nationwide expansion drive of Aligarh Muslim University in the wake of the findings of the Sacha Committee report, and it is hailed by the media as the relaunch of the Aligarh movement. The other campus of Aligarh Muslim University has been started at Murshidabad in West Bengal. By 2020, it is expected that the AMU centers in the different states would have the potential to become separate universities in itself, inshallah. Now, after this brief introduction about AMU, let me formally introduce our guest speakers to yourselves. First and foremost, Mr. Arun Balachandran. He is the founder and CEO of Innovation Lab and the co-founder of Forward Life Magazine. Actually speaking, Arun Balachandran is a person I respect personally because he is my senior in college. He is an alumnus of Government Model Engineering College. He started his entrepreneurial journey in a hostel room while he was pursuing his electronics and communications. His maiden entrepreneurial venture was a monthly magazine by the name of TechnoFirst. It was humbly priced at ₹20 and it had the latest news about technology, trends and job opportunities. Since it was humbly priced at ₹20, it became a huge rage in the campus instantly. He was then employed in a software firm, US Technology, at Technopark for around close to 1.5 years. But the entrepreneurial bug had already bitten him. So finally taking the entrepreneurial plunge, he launched Innovation Lab at the age of 24. Innovation Lab is the first private technology business incubator. It was started in association with Technopark. It is one of the largest IT parks in Asia. A hugely successful campaign by the name of I Am an Entrepreneur was launched by Innovation Lab under the leadership of Arun Balachandran. It also had our Honorable Minister for State, Shashi Tharoor, as its brand ambassador to sensitize, to popularize the concept of entrepreneurship among all the engineering colleges throughout Kerala. And as a result of that campaign, the campaign was able to touch around 1 lakh student minds, and they were able to ignite so many people towards entrepreneurship. Now, he along with his friends have started Forward Life magazine, the first premium lifestyle magazine in Kerala, and it is mentored by one of the most successful actors in Kerala, Padma Shri Mammootty. Arun is presently busy launching a global innovation center. It is located at InfoPark. It is a replica of the Silicon Valley model followed in California, and it is a public-private partnership incubator for NRIs in the country. The project is expected to change the innovation scenario in the state of Kerala. On behalf of the staff and students of AMU Center Malappuram, I wholeheartedly welcome you, Arun, to AMU and to NB 2012. Now next I would like to introduce to you Sanjay Menon. Sanjay Menon is an alumnus of KMEA College, Cochin. He is a first generation entrepreneur whose entrepreneurial journey started when he did not have enough money to pay for his basic necessities in college. That is when he took up job in a company, Airtel, where he very actively participated in promotional activities like tying flexes, tying banners, sticking posters. He had very humble beginnings as an entrepreneur. He started off like that. Then he slowly, after that, he started becoming a retailer for Airtel SIMs. Then he started becoming a retailer for other telecom operators such as Hutch, Airtel, Hutch, Escotel, Idea, Vodafone. Then he left that, and in the second, this was during the first year of his college. In the second year, he started working for WorldSpace. Then after he completed his BTech, he along with 4 like-minded people started a company by the name of Art and Dynamics. It was incubated in Technopark. And that was a company which brought out a very innovative product called Spara. The Spara was the product. Everyone, what we always think is that after we switch off the socket or after we switch off the plug, we feel that there is no power consumption. But they found out that even after switching off the product, it is found that the product, it consumes some amount of electricity from the power lines. And when you take huge institutions like offices, like big companies, big organizations, you compute all these things, the losses become enormous. So they found out a product by the name of Spara, wherein this sort of phantom power could be stopped. And it turned out to be a hit. And Art and Dynamics was formally launched as a very successful technical company. After that, he diversified his entrepreneurial career. He ventured into sports and food, 2 things that he holds very close to his heart, by starting Kahawa Cafe. Currently, he is the Chief Marketing Officer and Director of MBO Technologies, which is a spin-off of the parent company Art and Dynamics. On behalf of the AMU community, the staff, the students, I welcome you, Sanjay, to NB 2012. Now the third entrepreneur is Kenny Jacob. Unfortunately, he is not feeling well, so he is right now taking rest in the director's cabin. He will be joining us shortly within 5 or 10 minutes. I'll give you a brief introduction about Kenny. Kenny is an alumnus of College of Engineering, Adur. He started his entrepreneurial career right after college. He, along with a few friends, incubated a company called TOR, 360-degree Solutions at Technopark. The company raised angel funding. The company got an angel investor during its 3rd year of operations, and it was formally changed its name to Mobni Wireless Solutions. There, Kenny served as the Chief Technical Officer and was in charge of product development. Later, he co-founded Iruz Web Holdings. Irus was a company which introduced social media marketing into Kerala tourism. It specializes in internet marketing consultation. Now Irus has a client list of major brands in real estate, tourism, education, etc. in and out of the country. Kenny is also an active blogger and writes about social issues, media hypocrisy and education in general. He is one of the people behind unconferences like Bar Camp Kerala as well as Blog Camp Kerala. Unfortunately, Kenny is not here, but I formally welcome Kenny also to NME 2012. With this, I conclude the duty of welcoming the guests assigned to me. Once again, Arun, Sanjay and Kenny, welcome to NME 2012 and I wish all of you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Adarsh.
My friend Sanjay, my friend Kenny, and my ex-colleague and friend Adi, and dear friends, have a very good evening to all. I've allocated time to about 20 minutes. It was a little challenging, to explain our story, the story of almost 9 years in 15 minutes. Anyway, let me take the opportunity to congratulate you to organize an entrepreneurship meet. So when we started our first company in 2003 at Model Engineering College, so we didn't have this kind of an ecosystem. In fact, I've heard this word entrepreneurship by final year only. After 3 years, starting my company. Now, everybody is talking about entrepreneurship, innovation, startup, angel investment, VCs. It's a great mindset change. And thanks to the media and thanks for the college authorities for having this kind of a mindset change. And I'll straight away coming to my startup story. So-called startup story. I'm coming from a very typical middle class family. That was from an interior part of Kerala called Kanjirapalli. My parents are just 10th standard, so you can imagine the situation. When they took the courage to send me to an engineering college, I went to payment fee. That was a big issue at my family, because with that amount, you will get 2 acres of land at that place. So it was a big question whether investing in science education is the right thing or not. So I came from that kind of a situation. Then from there I came to Model Engineering College. The first year is almost the initial 3 months went pretty smooth. But suddenly a small problem arose in my family. So my financial situation crashed. My family. And for all entrepreneurs, I think there are some motivation towards entrepreneurship, or there are some course to jump into entrepreneurship. They must have attended some talks, or they must have seen some successful stories or those kind of things. In my case, I became an entrepreneur because of the situations. So I didn't have that kind of spark in my mind. I said I had a small problem in my family. So my parents asked me to discontinue my studies. Because I said, you can discontinue for this year and you can join back, if you want, you can join back next year. That was the scenario. So there was little tough time. So I have to find out an alternate profession generated writing to sustain my studies. So I look for part-time jobs. Luckily, I go through one magazine. They accepted me as a features writer, and it's in the vernacular language. So I have to submit 2 columns. And it was fortnightly. In 2 weeks, I have to submit 2 columns. So they used to pay me around 750 rupees in a month per magazine. That means in a month I'm earning almost 1,500 rupees. So at that time, my costly fees was around 1,200 rupees. So that problem is solved. I can pay my costly fees with that. So, but the biggest, then again the biggest challenge is, after 4 or 5 months down the line, I have to pay another 50,000 rupees as my tuition fees, 50,000. That became a biggest challenge. Say, even if I work in 3 or 4 companies, I won't be getting this much of amount in another 3 or 4 months. So I thought of doing something different. The only thing which I know was the magazine industry. So when I just quoted a interesting scenario, at that time only the government had sanctioned so many engineering colleges in the state. So like in modern engineering college, this is a little old institution. You have seniors and you got a clear idea about what's engineering and what's placement and those kind of things. But there's not a situation compared to an engineering. Purely you start an engineering college, they don't have a senior, they don't know what's placement and those kind of stuff. So I just thought of starting a magazine which addresses engineering students, helping them get placed with IT companies or whatever what is all about engineering. That was my first venture. And I shared this idea with my colleagues and my principal. They supported me like anything. But the major problem was, we have to start a magazine. So you have to get a lot of government approvals from central government and so for that you need an office space. But my maximum meeting is 1,500 rupees a month. 1,500 rupees I won't be getting any place for the rent. So I approached my principal, sir, this is a situation I want to start with, so I don't have a place. So at that time he took courage to allocate me my hostel room as an official. It's such a big issue in fact, because allocating a government college hostel room for a commercial purpose. But he took that courage to do that. Even there was a lot of opposition against him, but he and he was mentioning at that time that one day scenario will change and there will be provision in the college itself to start your own company. Luckily, another 3-4 years down the line, the government announced a policy that in each engineering or each technical institute have a separate wing for entrepreneurship, a separate place where students can go and that's their workplace and those kind of things. And thanks to my principals for that vision, that's one of my vision and purpose. And so I've applied for that I have applied for registrations that you want to. Then again the problem is that you have to get you don't have the initial capital to invest on it because if you want to print a magazine you have to pay some amount to press. I approached a couple of presses, they all demanded security in advance to print the magazine. So and during that time I went and collected some advertisements. Every day when my friends, when my friends go to colleges, I used to take a bag and go to the city and handing one by catching one by one advertisement clients and convincing them this is a new product and those kind of stuff. But nobody was giving that much of attention at that time because you don't have nothing to show to them. But through the other training institute, agreed me that I'll invest on you, provided you will guarantee that you will join some students for the training, or at least we need a facility to take presentation in the campus. I said okay. Then with that guarantee, I took that advertisement, and so in a matter of say 1 month down the line, I've collected some advertisements and gave to press. So when I got my first copy in my hand, I was literally crying. With that first magazine itself, I've collected almost 97,000 rupees as advertisements, and my expenditure was somewhere around 30,000 rupees. So my earning was somewhere 67,000 rupees or so. I saved my expenditure. It's really, I normally don't recollect all these kind of things, and after a long time I'm recollecting now. Website was really paid. That was thing. Then from there onwards, we published a monthly thing. Got the recognition from my colleagues, from my students, from my friends, and from even some other campuses. And media was writing about all kind stories and those kind of stuff. It's quite well. Luckily, I met one person called Murali Gopalan in one of the entrepreneurship something happened in Kochi. He was one of the co-founder for a company called UST Global. UST Global is one of the biggest employer in Kerala in terms of IT equipment. It's a IT company sort of in Kerala. So he advised me, you are advising students to get into IT company. So at least you should have a fair idea about what's happening in the IT industry. So you should join an IT company for at least 1 year. So I joined UST itself as a business analyst. Then I identified an interesting scenario in an IT company. So when you work into the building, so you will get a lot of some people, some doctors that handing over some newspapers or some flyers to you, just to for that advertising purpose. So that was really interesting thing for me. They used to give business lines or economic times with a sticker. Sticker means for advertisement, and they used to distribute it to all the IT professionals. When I dig it, the advertiser there was spending almost 15 rupees per magazine per IT professional to get their brand visible. So at the end of the day, nobody is going to read this because IT professionals they live in a different world. They won't be that much interested to read business kind of stuff. It's not unlike you. So I came out with a magazine. It's a tabloid sheet. It's a 20-page tabloid sheet which talks only about how you can earn your salary in 30 days. So as I learned from where all you can eat, where all you can travel, where you will get good news and those kind of stuff. So it clicks really well. In a matter of say 2 months down the line, we got almost all leading advertisement clients like Lee, Levi, Daimler, and even I didn't take any local advertisements from this one. It was all from national. So we, in a matter of 3 months, we went into that level. And luckily, I got a pre-acquisition offer from a big publishing house called Malayalam Manorama. Because during that time, the pitch was like this. Technopark and Infopark is the only place in Kerala where just in 100 acres land, 150 crores rolling every month in terms of standard. So that itself can drive an effort. So that was the pitch. And another one was that Technopark and Infopark is only place you can get Malayalam Manorama because it's in Malayalam. At IT Park, they sell only business line economic times. So that was my pitch. And somehow they came to know about that. So they badly couldn't acquire me. I said no. I didn't have any reason for that. But was a so-called publishing house. They negotiated with just a 22-year-old kid. It was a little interesting thing for me. I said no. But unfortunately, in a matter of another 4 months down the line, the recession hit and all that advertisers backed out, and that venture crashed. And during that time, my marriage fixed. So in fact, I wanted to marry my cousin. So in Kerala, we got IT job is quite high in terms of social status. So with the time, I just went to their family and that's just my job profile. So I like to marry them. They agreed. The moment they agreed, I quit my job. And I married her without any job and even without a penny in my pocket. I still remember my marriage. But at that time she was working in Cognizant. She was getting pretty high, For entrepreneurs, discussing this matter with Sanjay, for all this kind of entrepreneurial journey, our earning wife is a big strength. Even our marriage purchase happened with her credit card only. That is the kind of situation. Then I quit my job and then the only hope is to take Technofirst to the next level. That was the only hope. I didn't have enough money to invest in marketing and those kind of stuff. So I approached Technopark and said, sir, so why don't you, I met a great personality called Dr. KCC Nair. He was the chief finance officer of Technopark, and he was heading all the technology business innovation activities or entrepreneurship related activities in Technopark. So I asked him, sir, so this is a magazine which I'm publishing, so why don't we do a campaign in the campus, basically to ignite young minds towards entrepreneurship? He said, being a government institution, you have institutions who are allocating funds. If you can get some private sponsors, you can go ahead with that. So in fact, not with that kind of a vision. I just wanted to enter the campus to market my product. That was my intention. But of course, I didn't have any money. At that time, the telecom operator ASL came into the campus, came in Kerala as an 8th operator. And luckily, the government of Kerala banned mobile phones in the campus also. So they can't officially get in the campus unless and until they sponsor some events in the campus, which cost them somewhere minimum 25,000 per college. It's going to be huge, right? So I told them that, so we are doing a campaign along with Technopark, and by the time I logged in Departments of Science and Technology also for this campaign, we became the official media for Technopark. Even though we were running without any money, but the association were ready. We partnered with NASCO, we partnered with the Department of Science and Technology. So, for the campaign, all these partners are there. So we are going to the campus with all of these partners at one place. Government of India tag is there, NASCO tag is there, and Technopark tag is there. So I told them, if you can sponsor this, and they took that as an opportunity. They invested some money for this campaign. Then so we meant an entrepreneurship ignition campaign. But at that time, the problem was the major recruiter at that time was Infosys. If you run an entrepreneurship campaign, first the job hunting myth should break. So we said, we thought the Chris itself should come and talk about entrepreneurship. Then only it's going to work. Because it was just a biggest recruiter at that time. So we wrote a mail to Chris saying that you have achieved Chris validation of the founder of the process. Chris, you have achieved something. You have something. We back to the state. We are doing an entrepreneurship campaign. So you should come and talk in that. So we thought of doing a video with them. So all the thing was how Chris and his team made Infosys. At the end of the day, Chris is saying, instead of join at Infosys, start your own Infosys. That was a theme. And luckily, he got back to us saying that he's pretty much interested in the campaign. He flew down to Trivandrum for a one-day shoot. So getting 10 lakh rupees from Infosys is not up. It's just a matter of a couple of mails or blocking this one day. It was really tough. But since it was for a course, he agreed. And at that time, so we, Dr. Shashidhar came into the minister. So he was in the speech at that time. So I requested him to be part of this campaign. And both of them became the brand ambassador for the campaign. And we made a video called I'm an Entrepreneur. And we took this video to almost 120 campuses across the state. Our ultimate objective was to identify one or two startup companies from the campus. That was the maximum expectation, maximum one or two companies will come out of the campus. But after seeing this video, the result was really interesting. From each and every institution, we got at least 1 to 2 groups. And coming to that, I have seen the video. We are I'm placed with companies, but we don't want to join them. We want to start our own company. Generally, I realized that the game became serious. So till that I didn't have that kind of an ecosystem to mentor students towards entrepreneurship. Because even though there are technology incubation centers, there are Technopark and NIT Calicut. The moment you walk into a technology business incubator or entrepreneurship ecosystem, they'll ask you, where's your business plan, where's your financial projection? This kids haven't even heard about what's the business plan and what's the financial projection. So I identified there's a gap in that particular domain. Luckily, since I partnered with so-called tags like Department of Science and Technology in NASCOM and some investors were ready to invest on my venture. So I somehow convinced my investor to invest this amount in the incubation and pre-incubator kind of facility for anybody can work in with an idea. So we provide them with a fully furnished air conditioned office space with proper mentoring and consulting or even some seed fund, so that he can work on that idea without leaving all his worry to start up the company. So the revenue generation model is that, so in each company we'll be holding at least say 2 to 5% equity in each company. So if you incubate 10 companies, out of the 8 of them will fail, but 2 companies will have develop. So holding the 2 to 5% in each that 2 company can be a good investment in the long run, but not on the short run, it's the long run. So we incubated 22 companies so far. Out of that, 5+ companies are in multi-crore valuation now. So we are doing good in that domain. And very recently we have submitted a proposal to Department of Science and Technology. They got a lot of schemes to promote entrepreneurship with the state. They do sanction technology business incubators in well-established organizations like IITs, IIMs, techno parks and those kind of places. They have a huge government grants in terms of crores. Almost 5 crores we will get as a grant to set up this facility. So we invested money from our pocket to create the same kind of facility. So we have invested all the earnings till that date. So when we approach say again for all technology business incubator there should be a course or there should be a domain. So we have very accidentally I came across a speech of Dr. Pranab Mukherjee during the last Pravasi Bharati. He was talking about so India should tap the potential of NRI investors and NRI and that was a little spark thing on me. So I was thinking on that particular subject. Then let me realize that in China, China's economy went into next level when non-resident Chinese started investing back to China. They've seen the world and they've got enough money with them. They've seen new technology. Then they went back to China and invested there. Then their economy went to the next level. So the same thing. So I've included my proposal to government. And that Kerala is the only state in India where 22% state GDP coming from NRI investment. Last year our NRI returns were almost 59,600 crore via proper channel. So that is a volume. So submitted a saying that there's a clearly need for technology business incubator in this state because the NRIs are still not that much confident enough to invest back in Kerala. Because most of you have seen the movie called Varavel in Malayalam. Typically, NRIs invest in the attitude. So if central government is taking initiative along with Kerala government, plus a private partner like my company, we create a proper ecosystem with an authenticity, with an accuracy in us. So we have the right ecosystem for NRIs to invest back in Kerala. So this is a proposal. Let me just go through. The central government has sanctioned India's third public-private partnership with my small company. The second public-private partnership was with Boeing, the flight company, and IIT Bombay. And second one is at Kochi. And Kerala government has allocated a special space for us at Goa to start up that. And it's going to announce in the coming Pravasi Bharati was happening in Kochi on 7, 8 and 9. And that's my story so far. And apart from that, if you have any doubts or clarifications needed, I'm happy to answer you during the one-on-one interaction or maybe after all. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now invite Director of MVGO Tech and owner Kahawa Cafe, Mr. Sanjay Menon, to give his startup story. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you. I'm normally not very good at this, so let me see how I do this. By show of hands, how many people thought you would be doing your MBA right now? Say when you were in school, how many people thought you would definitely do an MBA? By show of hands. Good. I didn't know I would be standing here probably 10 years back. I wanted to be a sports journalist. I wanted to be a sports journalist, and my parents told me that probably you can start off doing your engineering, and then probably after engineering